and respect decisions made by the officials. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here are today's starting lineup. For Darien, at forward, number 14, Caitlin Chan. At forward, number 16, Shay Vanderbrook. At forward, number 20, Nellie Niffen. At defense, number 3, Catherine Barton. At defense, number 5, Kate Dugan. And in goal, number 30, Hallie Preppin. Darien Blue Wave. The head coach at Darien High School is Jamie Chopsa. Now for the West Haven Sacred Heart Academy. At forward, number 4, CC Condon. At forward, number 7, Jenna Hunt. At forward, number 14, Francesca Priscola. At defense, number 66, Veronica Lynn. At defense, number 18, Brooke McNavola. And then goal, number 30, Kylie Crow. The head coach of West Haven Sacred Heart Academy is Aaron Blake. Tonight's team officials are Siobhan Camone, Russell, and Adam Lyle. At this time, we'd like to ask everyone to please rise for your national anthem.
Live from the rinks at Shelton, it's Varsity Girls Ice Hockey on the DAF Media Network. Tonight, it's the Darien Blue Wave and the West Haven Sacred Heart Academy combined team in the semifinals of the Connecticut High School Girls Hockey Association Tournament. The state Final Four, Damian Andrew joining you. Thanks for joining us on the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation. Joining me, as he so often does throughout the season, is Dan Toscano. And Dan, doesn't get any better than this or bigger than this. We just saw one state semifinal, New Canaan besting Simsbury 3-1 to advance to Saturday's state championship at Bennett Rink in West Haven. The winner of this game moves on to that game as well, but it doesn't get any more exciting than this. Postseason girls hockey here, state Final Four.
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of energy in this rink tonight. And having watched a couple of these games now throughout this tournament, all the scores have been pretty close. A lot of one-goal games, a lot of two-goal games like we saw earlier on this very sheet of ice with New Canaan and Simsbury. And my understanding is that was a pretty close game until New Canaan scored a couple of goals in the third period to put that one away. But very high-quality hockey. The teams tend to tighten up try to keep the mistakes to a minimum. So when that happens, you can normally expect to see low-scoring game and not a lot of differential between the two teams in terms of scoring. This game, if I had to make a prediction going in, and you never know what you're going to get with teenagers, but I'd expect nothing different.
And Vandenbroek takes it in. It's poked away by Brooke McNabola, the junior defenseman for West Haven. The Westie Sharks is what they go by. This is a rematch of a regular season matchup between these two at the Stamford Twin Rinks back on January 16th. Darien getting the better of West Haven 6-2 in that one. That was a game that you and I did together, and so we'll see. Obviously, West Haven has certainly scouted Darien. They know what they're about. They have played well since that loss. We'll see what happens here tonight. First shot on goal for West Haven, a nice stop by Hallie Kreppen.
Yeah, in that first game, 6-2, that score I don't think really speaks to these two teams. That was a very sloppy game, and it looked like, frankly, both teams did not bring their A games that night, and it was a reasonably close game until the third period, and Darien poured on some goals there to make the score a bit deceptive. I do not expect to see that tonight. This West Haven team, in the regular season, that was the last game they lost back on January 16th, and they ran the table the rest of the way.
Yep.
So that's the team that they're facing today. Obviously a higher seed than the Darien team, notwithstanding the fact that Darien won that earlier season matchup.
Yeah, they ran the table on the season. Their only loss since then was in the championship game of their conference tournament, a game we were talking about earlier. And they are coming off, West Haven is, a big overtime win in the state quarterfinals. They beat East Catholic in the state quarters 2-1 in overtime. Mia Celentano, the sophomore, scored with 51.6 seconds left in OT. How about that for a sophomore stepping up, Dan, in a big spot?
Well, and how about that for a 2 versus 10 matchup?
Yep.
In girls high school hockey? I think historically a 2-10 matchup is going to be a pretty easy win for the higher seed. And as we've talked about over the course of these games this season, as this league continues to grow and more schools get involved, the quality of play goes up, and we've got a 12-team tournament here. There's 3 teams left. There'll be 2 after this game, but any one of 7 or 8 teams could have run the table and taken this tournament.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Darien comes into this the 3 seed, and West Haven the 2 seed, as you mentioned. New Canaan, the 1 seed, is through, beating Simsbury, as we told you about when we first came on the air. Damian Andrew alongside Dan Toscano as Darien attacking here in the West Haven zone. Under 12 minutes left in the first period. No score. We are just underway here from the beautiful facility that is the Rinks at Shelton. I want to thank everybody here for their hospitality as we set up earlier today for this live stream on the DAF Media Network. And here's a breakaway for Darien, and that's just high on the shot.
Yeah, that was a really nice effort there. You'd think on a breakaway like that, there's either going to be a real hard wrist shot or maybe some effort to deke. Instead, she actually tried to knuckleball it in there a little bit and catch the goalie going down in the butterfly position. But the goalie would have none of that, and it looked like a fairly easy save.
Kate Bellissimo, the shot there for Darien as the Blue Wave attacking. That's off the pad of Hallie Kreppen. And here's West Haven.
Well, a lot of early pressure here from West Haven in the offensive zone. They've had at least 4 really good attempts on net here. Hallie's stopped them all.
And a glove stop there by Kylene Crow. Crow, the senior goalie, one of the captains for this West Haven team. She had 27 saves, I should say, in the state quarterfinals. And that's a wrister that's high over the crossbar from Kit Eriks. Nice defensive effort by Toscano. And the puck trickles into the Darien zone. Darien head coach Jamie Tropsedan was very complimentary of his defensive unit in that win over Greenwich in the state quarterfinals at the Darien Ice House.
Yeah, I think that, one of the things about this Darien defensive core is, he mostly goes with 2 lines, but he's got a couple others, Carolyn Clark and Jane Kelligan, who've subbed in here and there. And one of the things they do really well is communication with the goalie. Hallie's talking to them constantly, positioning them in front, and they're listening. And that makes it a heck of a lot easier for the goalie to avoid screens and try to make the saves that she feels comfortable making.
Yeah, Coach Tropsa had high praise for defensemen Kate Drugan, Catherine Martin, Cece Stein, and Sarah Hearns as well in that state quarterfinal win. Here's Darien in the neutral zone. Shea Vandenbroek, a all-state selection. We'll talk about her a little later in the broadcast. Big part of the success of this year's Darien squad. And Bellissimo fighting for it in the neutral zone.
And both teams have had a number of opportunities here. They're really just feeling each other out at this point. Trying to find the net, try to get as many shots on net as you can. It's one of the things that Jamie and Gray have been preaching with this Darien team is we need to get the puck to the net more. It's nice to move the puck around and pass and all that, but at the end of the day, it's about getting the puck on net. And the more times you get it on net, the more opportunities you have to actually have it go in and pick up a rebound or whatnot. So we'll see how they make that adjustment tonight and just try to get that puck on early and often throughout this contest.
Under 8 minutes left in the first period here. A back and forth affair between these two. Darien in the blue uniforms. They are the visiting team. And West Haven in the home whites with the red pant. There's Catherine Martin behind the net with the puck. Toscano has it now.
Yeah, this is an opportunity here where you want to get that puck in front, no matter what it takes. Cassidy was wide open in front. There's too much defensive pressure behind the net to make that happen. Good forecheck here by West Haven to keep the puck down this end.
It's early yet, but you do get the sense this is a different West Haven team than the one we saw January 16th against Darien in Stamford.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, they finished off that regular season, as we talked about, having not lost a game. That last game they played in the regular season, I believe, knocking off Conard, who was at that point in time slated to be the 2 seed, ended up the 5 seed, and is now out of the tournament.
We will have a offensive zone face-off here for Darien. Vandenbroek and Taylor Novak, another All-Stater, junior forward for West Haven.
Really good pressure here from West Haven. The forecheck here, just extending this offense. They look very sharp in their offensive zone. The way to counter that, if you're Darien, is how they take care of the puck and passing, which we've talked about ad nauseum, and the importance of good, crisp, clean passing. thus far, it looks pretty good. Certainly better than what we saw last Saturday night in that Greenwich game. Really nice back check there by Nell Niffen, or Nellie as the public address announcer called her.
Dave Henderson, the longtime public address announcer here at the rinks at Shelton. Here's Kate Drugan across the blue line. She skates in, dumps it for Bellissimo.
A really nice move there to get
Puck
around
in
the
front,
defenseman, yeah.
And somehow it's cleared away by West Haven after a flurry of activity in front of the West Haven goal.
And one of the things I think that differentiates this defensive squad for Darien is skating speed, and you just saw it there. That could have easily resulted in a breakaway. And I can't tell if that's Sarah or Cece back there, but one of them got back there very quickly and negated that would-be breakaway.
Puck along the boards here. Darien looking to clear it out of their zone. And they do just that. Here's Bellissimo. The sophomore with the puck throws it on net, and it's covered up by Crow. Or Crow, excuse me, Kylene Crow. Great sound system in this barn, Dan.
It's not bad. I think they're playing off of your playlist. Periods have really flown by. I mean, 4 minutes left in the first period. There's been a fair bit of action. No real, dangerous threats. Here's one.
Toscano with a shot, and it's stopped by Crow. No, you took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say that this period is just flying by. We are under 4 minutes left now, as you can see at the bottom of your screen. Puck in front, and golden opportunity goes by the wayside for West Haven as Megan Froelich, the junior forward, had the puck right in front and just couldn't convert.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I think she may have been on her offhand, so that it looks a lot easier than it really is when you're trying to get to your backhand in front and you have about 4/10 of a second to execute that, and everyone expects you to do it flawlessly.
Again, want to thank everybody for watching us on the DAF Media Network. Damian Andrew, Dan Toscano. We're going to bring up our DAF Media production crew very soon. They obviously do a terrific job on all these live streams. Here's Drugan with a shot off the glass. Martin fighting for it. And it's taken away by West Haven.
Got to keep your head up there, offsides.
And that'll be an offsides on Darien. Kelly Raymond, with the puck. As we take a look at this Drugan shot here that sails wide of the near post. Great crowd here at the rinks at Shelton for this one. State Final 4. New Canaan beats Simsbury 3-1 in the first semifinal before this one.
So you'll see here both defensemen wide open. When you have 2 or 3 of the forwards down below the net, it makes it difficult to get the puck out there. And oftentimes they're consumed with.
And a nice stop there.
Yeah, that puck was loose
Crow.
underneath.
Yep.
And that's Kelly Raymond, I think. But she's never one to miss an opportunity to try to put it in.
Yeah, great job by our production crew there. So an offensive zone faceoff for the Blue Wave. Under 2 minutes left in the first period of this one. And here comes West Haven. And a nice job by Drugan to poke that puck away. Drugan now across the blue line. Doing it herself. And that's a goal for Darien. As Kelly Raymond, I believe, on the rebound. Let's take another look at that when we get an opportunity. Here's Raymond, number 11, skates in, and you'll see her poke it in off the rebound. Kelly Raymond puts Darien up 1-0.
You know, the weak side is where you lose the defensive pressure when, particularly when a defenseman's carrying the puck in like that. And that weak side was wide open. Kelly was there, had her stick down on the ice, and it was an easy putback to give Darien the first period 1-0 lead.
And at the bottom of your screen, it is 1-0 Darien. We're going to correct that for you momentarily. Darien is essentially the visiting team. They're the 3 seed. West Haven is the 2 seed. Yeah, Kate Drugan with the shot, and Raymond with the goal on the rebound. And Kelly Raymond, the sophomore, coming up in a big spot in the state tournament, state Final Four. And West Haven looking to answer, and that is stopped by Hallie Kreppen as she corrals it.
Yeah, good pressure there. It was very clear coming off that whistle that line anchored by Selena Condon was going to try to get that puck to the net. They did, but Hallie had the angle cut off beautifully, and there was really nowhere to go with it other than right back into Kelly's midsection.
Yeah, Selena Condon had an opportunity there, but Kreppen standing tall between the pipes. Here comes Darien now, a 2-on-1, and West Haven is going to take a penalty here, Dan Toscano, with 26.4 seconds left in the opening period.
Yep, if you check Wikipedia for a definition of tripping, that's it.
That's it?
I mean, the blade right between the skates.
What we just saw.
Upend the skater carrying the puck. That's 2 minutes in the box. I believe that's Mackenzie Gardner on the trip there, the sophomore forward from West Haven.
So Darien, Dan, will start the second period on the power play.
Assuming they don't score in the next 13 seconds.
Assuming they don't score in the next, now less than 10 seconds in the first period. 1-0 Blue Wave thanks to a Kelly Raymond goal. That's covered up by Crow.
Now, I know Jamie will never do it, but with 1.4 seconds and a 5-on-4, I pull my goalie. That's why I don't coach.
And that'll do it for the first period here from the rinks in Shelton. A good start for Darien. Kelly Raymond, the goal. Maybe we can take a look at that Kelly Raymond goal one more time here before we break between periods. So Drugan skates in from the right side. The initial shot is stopped by Crow, and then Raymond lights the lamp. And you do light the lamp here at the rinks at Shelton, which is kind of cool as we take yet another look at this. See Raymond, number 11, left side, and she pokes it home, and Darien has a 1-0 lead after the first period. Want to give a couple of quick shout-outs before we break here. Georgia and Sally Cassidy watching from Colby. So, ladies, thanks for tuning in to the DAF Media Network. Colleen Cassidy's godparents, Eileen and Ed, also watching us. And Shay Vandenbroek's grandfather in Morristown, New Jersey, David, is watching us on the DAF Media Network. So after the first period, it's 1-0 Darien in the state semifinals here from the rinks at Shelton. We will take a break, and we'll be back with more live hockey after this.
If you live in Darien, most likely you've benefited from the Darien Foundation. Since our founding in 1998, we've provided more than $4 million in grants to the Darien Emergency Services, public schools, and community organizations.
My husband and I are so happy to be raising our 4 young children in Darien. Over the years, I have admired the projects that the Darien Foundation has supported, and I'm excited to be a member of the board helping to further support the Foundation's mission. Kids' eyes light up when they talk about learning and eating in the edible garden at Tokenique School. It certainly gives us peace of mind to know that if and when the next storm hits town, the Darien Library will always have power thanks to the Darien Foundation providing a generator.
This past year, the Darien Foundation has awarded $420,000 in grants to enhance our community. After years of being the only high school stadium in Fairfield County without lighting, Friday Night Lights came to Darien last fall. The Darien Lights Brigade led the charge, working with neighbors and town officials. The Darien Foundation came in with a grant to meet the crucial funding deadline. Now field hockey, football, soccer, and lacrosse players can play under the stadium lights. A team of high school students offer interactive STEM workshops alive with experiments in robotics, chemistry, and engineering to elementary school kids in Darien. The week-long summer camp and monthly Sunday programs have provided over 1,200 hours of hands-on learning to hundreds of grade school students. Built in 1778, the historic Mather Homestead was a safe house for locals to hide valuables and ammunition from the British Army. Owned by one family for over 2 centuries, the home was gifted to the Mather Foundation last year. Visitors can truly experience 18th century life via the original furnishings, family heirlooms, architectural details, and antique fireplaces. DAF Media puts high school students behind the cameras to live stream youth athletic games and community events. Some 30 student volunteers rotate to produce several live broadcasts each week, overseen by veteran TV anchor Damian Andrew. DAF Media leverages cutting-edge computer and camera technology to offer a fun and collaborative STEM learning experience. Parents and fans can watch games anywhere around the world. Darien is one of only a handful of towns in the United States to have a dedicated Boy Scout campground and cabin. Over 300 boys participate in 2 troops and 4 Cub Scout packs, and that number keeps growing. This June, ground will break on a new cabin and an expansion to the campground property.
Many of the grants we've given out have helped close capital funding gaps at several of our local nonprofit organizations. You can drive all over town and see projects that we've underwritten or supported, from the expansive renovations at the YMCA to the playground by the Sound and flagpole at Weed Beach, to the new sound system at the Darien Arts Center, and to the special operations vehicle at Darien EMS Post 53. I'm personally grateful to see my own family reap the benefits from the grants endowed by the Darien Foundation.
For 20 years, the Darien Foundation has been investing in Darien in offering our community organizations, emergency services, and schools a local resource to help them pursue innovation and excellence. Thank you for supporting the Darien Foundation. We are building a better Darien together.
We are between the first and second period here at the rinks at Shelton. Darien with a 1-0 lead over West Haven Sacred Heart Academy in the state semifinals of the girls hockey tournament. The winner will face New Canaan on Saturday, 1 o'clock in West Haven at beautiful Bennett Rink, which is just a terrific barn in West Haven. They do a great job maintaining that rink, and a lot of great hockey has been played there through the years. We've got about 3 minutes left before the start of the second period. Darien will start the period on the power play. They'll have a minute and 34 seconds left on that power play as West Haven taking a penalty late in the first half. And Dan Toscano telling me that New Canaan head coach Rich Bulin will join us during the broadcast here on the DAF Media Network. We'll talk with him a little bit about his win over Simsbury 3-1 in the state semifinals, the game that preceded this game. We'll be back. You are watching Varsity Girls Hockey on the DAF Media Network. You are watching the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation. We're about to drop the puck on the second period. Darien with a 1-0 lead thanks to a Kelly Raymond goal late in the first period. We are underway in period number 2 as Darien controls the face-off. The Blue Wave in the blue sweaters, white numbers moving from left to right on your screen. Puck in front, and that is covered up by Kylene Crow.
Well, they're picking up right where they left off with this one-man advantage here. Start of the second period, you got a minute 19 left on this power play, and for sure Darien's going to look to try to make this a 2-goal lead.
West Haven in the home white uniforms, home white sweaters with the red pants. They are the higher seed here, the 2 seed, Darien the 3 seed, and an opportunity in front. Kelly Raymond almost had her second goal of the game.
Yeah, good pressure there. Jamie has 2 forwards in front of the net trying to establish more of a presence than we sometimes get for Darien, and it paid off there. A great opportunity. Puck just skittered past to the left.
Cross ice pass from Drugan to Bellissimo, and it slides by on the deflection in front by Raymond.
Yeah, she definitely got wood on that, and unfortunately just went a little wide right this time. So now if you take the average of the 2, she should have a goal.
There's Bellissimo, puts it in front, and West Haven able to clear.
Yep, I expect they'll change at least 2 of their penalty killers here.
Selena Condon with a nice clear there for the Westy Sharks.
Yeah, really nice job there on that particular, the end of that possession. I don't know if you saw it, but Kate Drugan snuck in from the backside over here when no one was looking. It was in really nice position if there was a rebound.
Puck along the boards.
We're back at full strength now.
Just 2 minutes into this second period. And here's West Haven as they dump it in the Blue Wave zone. Going back the other way. Nell Niffen, nice pass in front to Caitlin Chan. She gets a stick on it, but
Damien, we have a special guest.
We certainly do.
Joining us for a little visit here.
I'm going to get him hooked up here with his headset. He's got a smile on his face, and for good reason.
He's a man who needs no introduction.
Oh, jeez.
I think anybody who's watching will recognize the voice.
Puck in front again for West Haven, or for Darien rather. And West Haven, Drugan able to keep it in. And now the puck slides through the neutral zone. Picked up by Catherine Martin.
Well, dangerous play there by Drugan to try to step up on that puck. Forward slip behind her and almost gave a breakaway there.
Kit Eriks with the puck now. And Martin throws it on net. Puck in front, and Eriks nearly had herself a goal as she was right on the doorstep.
Yeah, and I'm not sure she could have made harder contact with a puck. All she had to do is push it in.
And, of course, Dan and I were talking about moments ago. New Canaan head coach Rich Buellin. And, Rich, nice win out of your team. Had to feel good about that. 3-1. You beat Simsbury, a very game and good Simsbury team.
Yeah, they're very tough. I mean, Jamie will tell you the same thing. They're scrappy. They skate hard. They're always in the game with you. That was just a huge save by the West Haven goaltender. Don't see a two-pad stack often anymore. Everything's butterfly, but that was great.
So I saw you across the ice during the first period, lurking, doing a little scouting, knowing that you're going to be playing one of these teams on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I mean,
what did you see in the first period?
Honestly, I thought Darien had much better of the territorial play. I mean, I think they're deeper. They're obviously they're well coached. Jamie just does a great job with them.
How much does he pay you to say that?
You know,
now, for those of
it's
you,
not even that he pays me. He just always buys when we go out. That's
well, there you go.
For those of you joining us, Rich Buellin and Jamie Tropsa have a great relationship off ice. Friendly enemies when they square off, when their teams square off, but great friends off the ice.
We've always been able to maintain that. I mean, I respect him tremendously, and he's one of the best people I know. And obviously, we want to beat each other every time we play. And you're right, it's a healthy rivalry that there's always a lot of respect and just some really good hockey every time we get together. It's just, honestly, if I'm going to lose to anybody, I get over it quicker if it's Jamie. I don't like to, but
I think there are plenty of people watching who would gladly take that.
Kylene Crow, by the way, with a nice stop.
So, Rich, one of the things we were talking about in the first period, and I am not a hockey expert. I watch a lot of hockey. That doesn't make you an expert, but just trying to figure out what makes Darien as good as they are defensively. And as you know, he runs between 4 and 6 defensemen.
Right.
But I was just commenting on the skate and speed of the defensemen on this Darien team, whether it's Catherine Martin, who we just saw carry the puck up all the way up the ice and create a scoring opportunity, or the two freshmen who really have wheels. Is that one of the things that marks their defense?
I think one of the things about them is it's not only the speed, though, Dan. It's the speed, and they have just such a great skill set. They can handle the puck. They can move the puck. It's not like, yes, they're fast and they beat you to the puck. They get it. They know what to do with it, and they have a plan in their head. It's great when you have really speed and smarts at the same time, and they do have that. It's just what makes them as tough as they are. And their forwards back check. That makes it a little easier on the defense, too.
Rich, as Dan and I were talking about in the first period, Coach Tropp's very complimentary of his defensemen coming off that 2-1 win over Greenwich the other day in the state quarterfinals. And there's a shot by West Haven. Good opportunity.
West Haven's, unfortunately, I think for them, because of the lack of depth and Darien's depth, they've got to take advantage of those, or they're not going to be in the game long.
This is I said to Dan, Rich, this is a West Haven team that lost to Darien at the Stanford Twin Rinks January 16th in a regular season non-conference matchup, 6-2. But so far, a much different West Haven team, as you would expect, more seasoned as the season has progressed here. And just down a goal here, but like you said, they need to take advantage of those opportunities.
I actually saw that game. I went and watched that because my game was later that night. And you're right. I mean, Darien, they played them very tough. Everything they seemed to shoot on goal went in, and it took a lot of the air out of West Haven's sails. And after that, Darien pretty much controlled the game. They seem to be a little more mature tonight, West Haven, and have a different type of game plan as far as the way they're approaching it.
Aaron Blake is the head coach of West Haven. This is the farthest they've ever been in the state tournament. Never have made it this far to the state semifinals. So Coach Blake doing a nice job with West Haven, getting them to this point.
Yeah, they were very competitive last year and came back and had another strong season this year.
So, Rich, a very big, deep, highly touted freshman class on your Canaan team. With freshmen come a lot of surprises. Many good, some less good. When you look at your overall team and the season you've had, which has been just incredible thus far.
Thank you.
What do you? What was one or two maybe really positive surprises? Things you know they're good and you know they're deep, but things you said, boy, I didn't know we had that.
I think it honestly was the maturity. I knew we were going to be quick. I knew we were going to be good. But you brought up a good point. When you have a young team like that, we have 7 sophomores, 10 freshmen. You're going to have young mistakes, and it's going to happen. And they didn't come. We were kind of like, okay, when's it coming, when's it coming? We know it's going to happen. It's okay. We're going to. But the maturity level and the intensity in that, they were just very confident and understood what we were trying to teach them. We were really surprised with that. We were very happy with that. So that was the biggest surprise. We knew we had talent. We just didn't know the maturity level and how we were going to handle things. And, like Jamie, we play a tough schedule. And we wanted to throw them in the fire right away and see what happens. And 6 or 7 out of those 10 wound up in the starting lineup and never left. So very happy that they were able to mentally handle it as much as physically. You guys know, a 14-year-old playing against an 18-year-old sometimes, that's a big deal. But these girls really kind of adapted to it, did well.
Puck is covered up by Crow. 6:37 left in the second period. Darien still up 1-0. That goal, a rebound put in by Kelly Raymond. And the winner of this game will meet New Canaan and head coach Rich Bulin on, well, you're not playing in the game, but you'll be coaching.
Thank goodness.
On Saturday, 1 o'clock. Dan and I will be there if Darien should advance and bring that game to you on the DAF Media Network. Another stop by Crow.
Well, and while we're chatting here with Rich, I mean, Darien's had probably 7 or 8 really good scoring chances. Yeah. Now, as you pointed out, Damien, the goaltending here has been quite good, and she's controlling that puck, not giving up the rebounds that usually result in garbage goals that everybody loves. So Darien very methodical here and really controlling the play.
And Dan, you'll be interested to know this because I know you're into the analytics. We have 92 concurrent views right now, so a number of people watching this on the DAF Media Network, which is great.
That's fantastic. And I look at the games a week later And the number of views these games get, 7, 8, 900 views. And I'm only like 100 of them.
I was going to say I'm the other 100 myself. When I work at the school, and if I'm in class and it's a really slow day, I just go right to the computer and I start watching everything over again. You are right, though. I mean, very methodical. They know what they're going to do with the puck tonight. They get it down deep. They're not just giving it up, and that's the success. That's the secret to it. If you keep it down here and you keep control, it's hard to beat somebody that's doing that.
Yeah, eventually these scoring opportunities will start to turn into goals. And as you said in the earlier game,
right there.
And that is a Darien goal as we're chatting with head coach Rich Buellin.
Great shot on goal, rebound right there, and I didn't check the number, but
I think it was Caitlin Chan.
Okay.
Caitlin Chan, as we take a better view here of this one. And that's
Shea, isn't
Shea
it?
Vandenbroek, I believe.
She muscled right by the defense and got her stick on it.
I think it was Shea Vandenbroek. We will get the official announcement for public address announcer Dave Henderson here in just a moment. But from that second replay, which was a great angle, Shea Vandenbroek looked like she had herself a goal.
Yeah, and as we're just saying,
here's exactly where you want to just keep putting on the pressure. Get that third one. That's always going to be the backbreaker.
Yeah.
And it was Shea Vandenbroek with the goal. Shea Vandenbroek, part of the All-State team that was released this week. You had a couple of players on that team as well, Coach Buellin.
Yeah, we had Kaylee Harden and Jess Eccleston and Blythe Novick. Shea there, and then Jen Kelly from Greenwich. And, if I'm not mistaken, Katie Piotrowski too, or was I wrong on that?
I'll have to double check, but West Haven with a couple of players, Taylor Novak at number 11, and Veronica Lynn, their senior defenseman captain, a All-Stater as well.
She's a very solid player, very solid on defense. Ooh.
So it's 2-0 here in the second period. Kelly Raymond scoring in the first, Shea Vandenbroek in the second. Under 5 minutes left in the period as Darien now up 2 goals on West Haven.
So last question for you, Rich. You have 2 days before the state championship game, Saturday afternoon, weather permitting.
No, I think we're good.
You think we're good?
Weather-wise, I think we're good.
So I wasn't asking you for a weather forecast. You're not getting off that easy. What do you do for the next 2 days with the team to get them ready?
We'll probably have tomorrow a nice light power play skate, penalty kill power play, get our special teams going. And Friday, just we'll do situations. We'll get them skating, but we'll just try to keep it light because they've worked very hard to get where they finally have, which is the final, and we know that it's going to be a battle no matter who we play. So girls have deserved it. I mean, we're not going to crush them, obviously, but we will still make sure we know our systems and do what we're supposed to do. But that's if I can get any ice. Both boys teams won, so I don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I'm sure your AD will find you some ice time, and
I'll ask Jamie. You want a scrimmage?
It is a unique situation with Darien and New Canaan both calling the Darien Ice House home.
Yes.
And they are, of course, arch rivals, a rivalry that dates back a long ways. Under 3 minutes left now in the second period here. Damian Andrew with Dan Toscano and New Canaan head coach Rich Buellin joining us. His team fresh off a 3-1 win over Simsbury in the first state semifinal here tonight at the rinks at Shelton.
So I just want to go back to something you said a couple minutes earlier after Darien scored the second goal. Rich, you said now's the time to step on their throat, get another goal, and that's going to be the one that will start to drive the frustration going into the locker room. It sort of feels to me like instead of stepping on the throat, Darien team is maybe taking their foot off the gas here a little bit. They're not controlling the puck like they were.
Not earlier in the period.
Yeah.
You're right. But again, you know, you get that second goal, you sometimes it kind of has that different effect where all of a sudden you're like, oh, we're up by 2, so let's just. But I know Jamie, he'll make sure that's fixed.
Yeah, well, we know that the dangers of a 2-goal lead.
Oh yeah.
I think a good no call there on that trip. It was sold very well. Unfortunately, there was no stick down there in the skates to actually create the trip.
I think it was very important, but we'll see with the third period coming that West Haven actually got out of this period only down 1-0.
And another opportunity
that
there
second
for
goal is going to be big.
Francesca Crisculo with the shot, but the stop by Hallie Kreppen. While we have a break in the action here, shout out to our DAF media production crew, our director Sam Craig, and instant replay is Chris Eggs Benedict. Camera 1 is Sarah Jakes. I knew you'd like that, Rich. And camera 2 is Katie Duggan. And they do a terrific job, all student volunteers, bringing you the sights and sounds from the rinks at Shelton.
Well, we really need some help with nicknames for this crew. And I've been harping on this all season. And if you guys have the YouTube page open back there, right? So, you know, if anybody has any ideas for nicknames for these guys, maybe just post them on the YouTube page, and we'll see what we can come up with for you guys.
Should have a contest.
And here comes Vandenbroek, skates in, pass in front. And
wow.
A nice pass to Caitlin Chan, can't convert. As she was defended. A minute left of the second period, 2-0 Darien. The winner of this faces New Canaan Saturday in the state championship from Bennett Rink in West Haven. Here comes the Westie Sharks.
Well, there's no quitting this West Haven team, that's for sure.
No, they're hanging in there, and you can see they're tired, but they're still scrappy.
Yeah, they're not getting the number of opportunities that the Darien team is for sure, but they're trying to make the most of them, and no doubt they're all looking at the clock saying, boy, we could get one back here. It would change the feel of this game.
Turnover by West Haven, and Eriks has it taken away.
Whoa.
And that is going to be a goal.
Yeah. Whoa, 10 seconds.
As the puck trickled past Crow.
There you go.
And that is a Kit Eriks goal. Can we take another look at that, gentlemen?
That's a backbreaker.
And Eriks puts her hands up right away. She knew that it was good. And you're right, Rich, with 10.8 seconds left in the second period, a tough break for West Haven. Instead of going into the locker room down 2-0, down 3-0 with 10.8 seconds left in the period.
That's big for Jamie now. Now you come out in the third and just, like you were saying earlier, Dan, you're just on them. You're just throwing it in, on them.
Wow. 14-50 in the second period. By number 21, Kit Eriks.
Yep.
Kit Eriks with the goal. So that will do it for the second period. You are watching the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation, as we take another look at the... Nope, we won't take another look at the Kit Eriks goal. The Kit Eriks goal at the end of the second period. It's queued up, and here we go. A bunch of players in front of that West Haven goal, and Eriks comes out of the pile there. She knew right away that it went in, and as you can see, the lamp was lit, and it is 3-0 Darien after 2 periods. We will take a quick break, and we will be back with more live hockey here on the DAF Media Network.
If you live in Darien, most likely you've benefited from the Darien Foundation. Since our founding in 1998, we've provided more than $4 million in grants to the Darien Emergency Services, public schools, and community organizations.
My husband and I are so happy to be raising our 4 young children in Darien. Over the years, I have admired the projects that the Darien Foundation has supported, and I'm excited to be a member of the board helping to further support the Foundation's mission. Kids' eyes light up when they talk about learning and eating in the edible garden at Tokenique School. It certainly gives us peace of mind to know that if and when the next storm hits town, the Darien Library will always have power thanks to the Darien Foundation providing a generator.
This past year, the Darien Foundation has awarded $420,000 in grants to enhance our community. After years of being the only high school stadium in Fairfield County without lighting, Friday night lights came to Darien last fall. The Darien Lights Brigade led the charge, working with neighbors and town officials. The Darien Foundation came in with a grant to meet the crucial funding deadline. Now field hockey, football, soccer, and lacrosse players can play under the stadium lights. A team of high school students offer interactive STEM workshops alive with experiments in robotics, chemistry, and engineering to elementary school kids in Darien. The week-long summer camp and monthly Sunday programs have provided over 1,200 hours of hands-on learning to hundreds of grade school students. Built in 1778, the historic Mather Homestead was a safe house for locals to hide valuables and ammunition from the British Army. Owned by one family for over 2 centuries, the home was gifted to the Mather Foundation last year. Visitors can truly experience 18th century life via the original furnishings, family heirlooms, architectural details, and antique fireplaces. DAF Media puts high school students behind the cameras to live stream youth athletic games and community events. Some 30 student volunteers rotate to produce several live broadcasts each week, overseen by veteran TV anchor Damian Andrew. DAF Media leverages cutting-edge computer and camera technology to offer a fun and collaborative STEM learning experience. Parents and fans can watch games anywhere around the world. Darien is one of only a handful of towns in the United States to have a dedicated Boy Scout campground and cabin. Over 300 boys participate in 2 troops and 4 Cub Scout packs, and that number keeps growing. This June, ground will break on a new cabin and an expansion to the campground property.
Many of the grants we've given out have helped close capital funding gaps at several of our local nonprofit organizations. You can drive all over town and see projects that we've underwritten or supported, from the expansive renovations at the YMCA, to the playground by the Sound and flagpole at Weed Beach, to the new sound system at the Darien Arts Center, and to the special operations vehicle at Darien EMS Post 53. I'm personally grateful to see my own family reap the benefits from the grants endowed by the Darien Foundation.
For 20 years, the Darien Foundation has been investing in Darien in offering our community organizations, emergency services, and schools a local resource to help them pursue innovation and excellence. Thank you for supporting the Darien Foundation. We are building a better Darien together.
We are live here at the rinks at Shelton, in beautiful Shelton, Connecticut, on a cold winter's night. It's actually colder, I think, outside than it is in this barn. Damian Andrew alongside Dan Toscano. You are watching the girls hockey state final four here. Darien taking on West Haven Sacred Heart Academy combined team. We are just about ready to drop the puck on the third period.
Well, it's very cold outside. It's very cold in here. The only place that's colder is the net behind Hallie Kreppen. West Haven has not been able to get the puck past her. She's made a handful of really good saves, and the defense in front of her, and not just the defensemen, but the defensive play of all of the Darien skaters has really just shut down the offense for West Haven here. They're going to have to get something going here early in this period before this game gets away from them.
Yeah, that was a tough goal for West Haven to allow late in that second period. Time was running down. It was 2-0 Darien, and then Kit Eriks sneaks one past Kylene Crow on a slow-moving puck on the rebound, and Eriks credited with the goal. It's 3-0 Darien here. We are just underway in the third period. A shout-out to our DAF Media production crew, Katie Duggan on camera 1, Sarah Jakes on camera 2, Sam Cragen, our director, and Chris Eggs-Benedict on instant replay tonight, doing a terrific job. All student volunteers, part of the DAF Media organization that was established now a little over a year and a half ago. And we are so thrilled to be able to bring you this state semifinal game in girls varsity ice hockey. Turnover here. Here comes Darien. Bellissimo skates in, and it's denied by Crow.
Yeah, she got just a little too deep there with that puck before she got it off her stick and allowed the goaltender to really cut down the angle there.
And the puck in front, it's stopped by Crow, and that was an opportunity there. Cece Stein.
Yeah, if you're West Haven coach Aaron Blake, watching the first minute and 40 seconds of this period, I think you need to make a trip down your bench. There's a lot of standing around watching, and as you see 3 times now, Darien players have skated in front of the net with the puck and gotten a shot or a look while the white jerseys were just sort of spinning around looking or lunging with their sticks. They're going to have to put up a better fight than that, or this score will get out of control in a hurry.
Face-off here in the Darien offensive zone. And it was nice having New Canaan head coach Rich Bulin along for the ride on this broadcast in the second period. A very happy Rich Bulin as his team is through to the state championship on Saturday at Bennett Rink in West Haven. If Darien holds on and advances to that game, we will have it for you on the DAF Media Network. Toscano throws it on net. Olivia Toscano.
I've heard of her.
You've heard of her. Name sounds familiar. Here's Drugan with the puck. Skates into the West Haven zone. And nice defensive effort that time by Mackenzie Gardner. Darien gets it back. Here's Kit Eriks. Gets it to Cassidy. She throws it on net. And Crow with the stop. Big shot there that goes over the crossbar.
I think it actually rolled along the crossbar. We'll see if we can get a replay on that on the next stop. But boy, that was very nearly a goal. And the one thing we notice here in the first couple minutes of the third period is the rebounds are loose in front. Fortunate for West Haven that they hasn't been a Darien player there to bury that puck.
Let's see here. Here's Eriks. Yeah, it does go up. It kind of crawls across the crossbar, if you will. 12:01 remaining in the third period. Darien with a 3-goal lead on goals by Kit Eriks, Shea Vandenbroek, and Kelly Raymond. Kelly Raymond's goal coming in the first period. And here comes West Haven moving from left to right here in the third period. Darien moving from right to left. That puck slides in front of the Darien goal.
Now, Coach Bulin made a comment last period about the back checking of the Darien team, and you just saw it there. I mean, that was shaping up to be a 2-on-1 against, and with the forwards skating back so quickly, they were able to make it a 2-on-3 and really shut down any chance there.
Nice move that time by Nell Niffen, just couldn't get a shot off.
Having said all that, it's a 3-0 game. There's a lot of time left on the clock. West Haven just needs to get one in, and this is going to feel like a much different game, particularly with the recent psyche of this Darien team.
I was just going to say that.
Holding late leads.
Yeah. Darien against Greenwich in the FCAC semifinals. We're up 3-1 late in the third period, and Greenwich ends up winning that game 4-3 in overtime.
Yeah, definitely not a game that the Darien team wants to remember, and it ran the risk of really identifying this team in their season, and then a week later dealing with it again with a 2-goal lead against Greenwich, and them trying to come back, scoring a late goal, pulling their goalie. But that time they were able to hold on and really control things much better. So we're not at that point in this game yet. Really, West Haven hasn't put up much of a fight yet in this third period, but it's coming at some point here.
Emery Fukuchi scored with 2 minutes and 58 seconds left in the third period for Greenwich to cut the Darien lead to 2-1 in the state quarterfinals less than a week ago at the Darien Ice House to make things interesting, but Darien's defense stepped up, and as Coach Tropso alluded to afterwards, and they were able to hold on to that 2-1 lead in advance to tonight's game against West Haven Sacred Heart Academy, where they have a 3-0 lead with 9:59 left in the third period.
Well, if you're Darien, you like the pace of play here in the third period. It's been really quiet out there on the ice, and meanwhile, the clock ticks down and the clock ticks down, which you love if you're the Darien bench.
And Olivia Toscano's shot sails wide of the far post, trickles past it. Cassidy dumps it into the West Haven zone. And Darien retakes possession here as they continue to look to apply pressure. As Dan mentioned just moments ago, a 3-goal lead appears safe, but one quick goal by West Haven, it's a different game all of a sudden.
And look at Cece just skate back to get that puck, out skating the speedy forward there for West Haven, carries it all the way down and creates an offensive opportunity out of that. That's really impressive, and that's a freshman.
And a nice defensive effort there by Darien's Carolyn Clark. And that puck sails over the crossbar on the shot.
Yeah, that was a really nice shot. It was well placed, and Hallie had trouble because it was coming straight at her helmet. But she's experienced enough at this point to know when that puck's going over the net and don't disturb it for fear of knocking it down into the net. So it was smart play there, and Jamie's starting to play some of his other players now with Carolyn Clark out there and Jane Callaghan on defense. But he doesn't give up anything when he gets to that third line of D. They're quite talented. Carolyn just a freshman, Jane a sophomore. Very, very strong defensive team here.
That shot by West Haven was Brooke McNabola, the one we were just talking about moments ago, the junior defenseman, and it's an offensive zone face-off here for Darien in the blue unis, kind of like the Toronto Maple Leafs unis.
Yeah. It is a majestic blue.
It is a majestic blue. Here's Catherine Clark over to Drugan. And the puck along the boards here as Kelly Raymond fights for it. It's taken out by Drugan. Lucy Edwards now going toe-to-toe with Mia Solentano.
Yeah, West Haven's going to have to start taking some chances here. This is not a time to hang back. They've got to get everybody in the offensive zone. They've got to pinch on defense and take chances. That's risky, especially against a very disciplined Darien team playing a very strong game tonight. That they'll capitalize on mistakes if you're not careful. That puck played with a high stick. That face-off will come out of the zone.
Good tunes here at the rinks at Shelton. A great facility. We are at the lower rink. I was telling our production crew that they couldn't believe it. There is actually a rink directly above us on the upper level of this facility. I believe it's about 15 years old, the rinks at Shelton.
And I believe this is or was the practice rink for the Bridgeport Sound Tigers.
Yep, it was. It's been a few years now, but of course the Sound Tigers play at the arena at Harbor Yard, the AHL affiliate of the Islanders. 3-0 Darien. And here's West Haven, and a nice stop by Hallie Kreppen, and she covers it up. Nice glove save there by Kreppen.
Yeah, that was a really good job covering up the puck. I think Hallie probably kicking herself a little bit for letting that puck come out of the glove, but that's hard to do. And importantly, she got the shot down and
great work by our DAF Media production crew. Again, Sam Cregan, Chris Eggs-Benedict, Katie Duggan, and Sarah Jakes. And we've got a icing call here, so West Haven will have an offensive zone face-off coming up. And again, a number of shout-outs. Georgia and Sally Cassidy watching from Colby. And Colleen Cassidy's godparents, Eileen and Ed, tuning in. And Shay Vandenbroek's grandfather in Morristown, New Jersey. David, how you doing if you're still with us? I don't see why you wouldn't be. It's 3-0 Darien now, under 7 minutes left in the third period.
It's a good pressure here by West Haven to keep this puck in the zone. They're not going to go down without a fight. Nice job by Hallie just covering that up. We'll take the face off, get fresh skaters out there. You'll see these shifts getting much shorter and shorter as we move through this third period. We want to keep fresh legs on the ice, not give up a play that leads to a breakaway.
I don't want to jinx it, but it has been pretty much a penalty-free evening in this second state semifinal, Dan.
Yeah, that's true. There haven't even been really much that you would think would call. There was that one tripping penalty, I think, in the first period, and that's the only one I can think of. You know, the Darien team here, and we've seen it throughout the game, but it's really coming home to roost now. They're just a step quicker. It wasn't necessarily that way in the first period, but I think as fatigue's starting to set in, we talked about this in the Greenwich game, the depth of this Darien squad where they roll 3 lines of forwards and they can roll 4 lines of defense, and they've got plenty of people to sub in if anyone needs a breather. That's a real competitive advantage when you get into games like this. And particularly, I imagine, I haven't watched it that closely, but I imagine West Haven is probably double shifting their top line here, and so they're just going to get that much more tired as the game wears on.
Nice poke check by Mackenzie Gardner. Here's West Haven, time running out for the Westie Sharks, as they are known. Of course, West Haven plays their home games at Bennett Rink in West Haven, Connecticut, a terrific barn. And one of these two teams will be back there on Saturday. And right now it looks to be the Darien Blue Wave as they are up 3-0 under 5 minutes remaining. Darien with the forcing the turnover there. There's Olivia Toscano with the puck behind the net, brings it back out front, puts it in front, and it's covered up by Kyleen Crow.
Yeah, I think she was looking for the deflection off the goalie's skate to get it in the net. Nice try when you don't have a lot of options.
Again, New Canaan won the first semifinal 3-1 over Simsbury right here before this one at the rinks at Shelton. And fresh legs on the ice for Darien, as well as West Haven will change its line. And an offensive zone face-off for the Blue Wave.
You see the forwards cheating out here a little bit, trying to get a 2-on-1. The Darien defense too experienced at this point to let that happen. Both Sarah Hearns and Cece Stein there on their game, ready, and got back very quickly.
Here comes Darien moving from right to left, or right to left, and we're under 4 minutes left now in the third period.
Well, this has been a fairly complete dismantling of a very, very good West Haven team. They might be a little flat tonight. You know, sometimes teams just have that team psyche where it just you never get out of the starting gate. That first period, they played quite well. It was a close game, 1-0 after the first period. But at this point in the game, Darien looks like the better team.
Yeah, having said that, it is a different, you mentioned it is a different West Haven team than Darien saw back in Stamford on January 16th, especially in that first period. But the Blue Wave have just been able to wear down West Haven. As you mentioned, depth playing a key. Here's Shea Vandenbroek with the puck. She gets it.
You mentioned a couple times that this is as far as West Haven has been tournament-wise. You contrast that. Now they've got an older team here, a more experienced team, a much deeper senior class and junior class than the Darien squad. But when it comes to playoff experience, you got to give the nod to Darien. I mean, 3-time reigning state champs.
Yep.
If you're a sophomore or a junior or one of the
and that's going to be a penalty on West Haven, and it'll be their all-stater, Veronica Lynn, heading to the box.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate collision. It was did not appear to be preconceived.
Nope.
And thankfully, Shea bounced right back up like nothing happened. So 2-minute penalty, but everybody's okay. That could have been a lot messier.
So Darien will go on the power play here for the next 2 minutes. Catherine Martin at the point. Gets it to Bellissimo. Bellissimo skates in.
So here you see a situation where Jamie's got two of his
and
forwards
that's a goal
in front.
On the weak side, and I believe it's Kate Drugan. We'll take another look here. Great job by our production crew.
Is that Lucy, or I didn't see if Kate was behind there.
We're going to take another look at it. I believe it's a Kate Drugan goal. Yep. Lucy Edwards was right there, but Kate Drugan is going to get credit for this goal, and it's going to put Darien up And West Haven Sacred Heart Academy will take a timeout here with 2:06 left in the third period. And we will get official word on that goal.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot you can do at this point. You got 2 minutes left, and you're down 4 to a team that has been absolutely stifling with their defense. I have a feeling this conversation on the West Haven bench is really about finish strong, take your shifts, play hard. If you get tired, get off the ice, and let's just finish this game strong. Let's see if we can't get one in the net at this point.
And there's a shot of the Darien bench. Head coach Jamie Trops is in there someplace. Yeah, and it was Kate Drugan. Lucy Edwards was right there, but Drugan scores on the weak side, is able to beat Crow, and it's 4-0 Darien with 2:05 left in the third period. Vandenbroek dumps that into the West Haven zone, and Darien will go chase. Here's Vandenbroek, throws it on net. Batted away by Crow.
Yeah, the game's slowed down quite a bit now.
Absolutely.
With less than 2 minutes left, and probably a fair bit of frustration on the part of the West Haven team, coming in as a number 2 seed in this tournament, and likely going home at the semifinals. It's to be expected, and Darien's going to keep playing hard here. Not to run up the score, but you can't turn it on and off. You've got to play hard. If they finish this game, they've got a big game coming up just 2 days from now, and Jamie will have nothing in gray as well with anybody taking a shift off here or not playing smart.
A well-balanced attack from Darien. 4 different players in the scoring column tonight. Kelly Raymond led things off in the first period with a goal. Shay Vandenbroek, Kit Eriks, and just moments ago, Kate Drugan with the 4th goal. And Darien is going to return to the state finals once again. They will try to win a 4th straight state title. Not going to be easy against the number 1 seed, New Canaan. New Canaan beat Darien once during the regular season, and then they tied in their second matchup at the Darien Ice House. And this one is winding down, under 15 seconds left in the third period, and the Blue Wave are headed back to the state finals of the Connecticut High School Girls Hockey Association tournament. And while we have a moment, our DAF Media production crew, Sam Cragen, Chris Eggs Benedict, one of the great nicknames that you'll ever find, Katie Duggan on our ISO camera, and making her DAF Media debut, lacrosse royalty in the house, Sarah Jakes on camera 1 did a terrific job. That'll do it for this one from the rinks at Shelton. Darien beats West Haven 4-0, and Dan Toscano, a really solid overall effort from top to bottom out of the Blue Wave.
Yep, Jamie will find plenty of things to work on in practice tomorrow and Friday. But I'm telling you, that's as complete a game as you're going to see. I think he'll probably say they didn't finish their chances as good as they could have, and they could have scored a heck of a lot more goals here. But the defense was sound, the forechecking, the back checking. All you can really do is just give one mighty Baba Booey to this team, because they deserved it. And I don't know what hit them with the hind looks like, but it looks like that. A very complete effort by this team. And you notice them as they're skating off. They're not satisfied with this. This is not the game they want to win. This was a necessary evil.
Yep.
We got to get through it. And the game that we need to win is the one Saturday against the team that we haven't beaten this season. And they'll have a lot to think about, and including that idea that it's tough to lose 3 games in a row when you're as good a squad as they are. And I think that you couldn't ask for a better matchup on Saturday. I mean, New Canaan and Darien playing each other for the third time. I guess we'll see which team shows up, and as you know, we've said it before. When they're not playing against each other, they're playing with each other.
Yeah, great friends off the ice, Darien and New Canaan. And, of course, we will have that game for you on the DAF Media Network from Bennett Rink in West Haven, Connecticut. 1 o'clock puck drop, state finals of the Connecticut High School Girls Hockey Association tournament. Dan, as always, it's a pleasure to be with you. I'll see you again on Saturday. It should be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great game, great matchup between two arch rivals, arguably the best rivalry in the state. We talk about it all the time in any sport, any time. So, again, our DAF Media production crew, Sam Cragen, Chris Eggs-Benedict, Katie Duggan, and Sarah Jakes. For Dan Toscano, I am Damian Andrew. This has been a presentation of the DAF Media Network, a joint venture of the Darien Athletic Foundation and the Darien Foundation. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you on Saturday.